shall we talk about?
Well, there's one thing that came up the other day. We were saying that, that we're programmed to want money and power and sex and whatever else. And we're also programmed to feel that we shouldn't want those things and that we should be something else. I mean, and so the question is, are we, like here at Brockwood, are we conditioning ourselves in a different way, or not?
Can we also talk about order and
Order.
the implications of...
And also, there was a question. There was a question about what are we going to do with our life. Wasn't there a question of that kind? When we leave here, what's going to happen to us? That's also one of the questions. Order. What was your question? So I couldn't make out quite.
Well, whether we're conditioning ourselves, or are we living according to ideas and concepts of
Are we in unconditioning ourselves, falling into another form of conditioning? So which shall we talk about first? Huh?
the order?
What do you think is order? What is order? Come on. This is a dialogue, so.
An absence of conflict.
Is the universe, cosmos, in order? Is it in complete order? The heavens, the stars, and all that above us. According to some of the scientists, they would say that is complete order. The word cosmos in Greek, I believe, does mean order. And opposite to that, chaos, total disorder. Order and disorder. Is order the opposite of disorder? Come on, discuss, please.
I might say the absence of disorder.
A reaction to
The absence
the absence of
disorder.
the absence of disorder is order. So disorder has nothing whatever to do with order. Or order is not related to disorder, is not the opposite of disorder. Right? Oh Lord, come on. Any opposite, love and hate, the opposite of hate is supposed to be love. And when there is an opposite, is there not the quality of hate in love? You understand what I'm saying?
It doesn't seem to be very obvious.
Naturally, but let's talk about it a little bit.
We may be going a little bit too fast.
Too fast, quite right, sir.
Maybe we are. If we were to agree, well, we could talk about the order amongst things. That is,
Order among things, order.
Are certain things in order. That is, if we were to look at them carefully and see some relationship, that they were related, then that seeing that they're related, in a sense, is the order. But if we, I get a little bit confused if we ask, is the universe in order? Because the universe
I know
implies
I went
the
much too
whole
far.
thing.
Forgive me, I went much too fast. Order in one's room. To put things where they belong in the room. Right? That's one kind of order. And when there is order in the room, there is no wastage of energy in searching where things are. Right? Would you?
Not necessarily, sir. If you have everything on the floor, then you can usually see it. You don't have to search for anything.
Oh, that's a very good idea. But in India it may work out. Because in India there are no cupboards. Generally, in a house, you put everything on the floor and you can see where they are. But when you put everything on the floor, there's very little room to do anything else. If the room is small, as they generally are in India. So, here you have a cupboard. When you put things away in order, please listen, I think it's rather important, this. When you put away things in order in the room, there is no wasting of energy in searching for things, right? Right? Huh? So, wastage of energy is disorder. Am I jumping too quickly? Yes, a little bit too fast. No? Got it? So, where there is order, there is more energy. Right, sir? Am I jumping on too fast?
Well, I understand what you're saying, but then, in a sense, we're sitting in this room in a very disordered way. If I were looking for a person, I'd have to look through the whole room. Shouldn't we arrange ourselves according to height or according to alphabetical order? At some place intelligently, we have to cut off this, this arrangement in order. And where do we do that? Where do we finally say that order becomes restrictive in our life? Where order as a principle is merely a conditioning.
Well, I question whether it is a principle. Is order a principle? Meaning, is it just an idea? Because if it is, then if we try and order the room according to our idea of what order is, then we'll run into trouble.
What do you think is order? Go on, we're talking about, you tell us a little bit, what do you think is order?
So could we say that order is a certain pattern which we have observed before and found suitable, and so we call it order. And if we find it unsuitable, then we call it disorder.
So, you call order the acceptance of a pattern and following it. Hmm? The pattern changing from time to time, modifying, and accepting that pattern or conforming to that pattern, you call order. Right? Is that it?
Is the-
Then dictatorship is it lays down a pattern and you accept that pattern.
And if you don't accept it,
Wait, that's order.
yes. If you find it suitable, it is order.
So, suitable according to what? Suitable what? I might like dictatorship. I might say following a pattern is disorder. Any pattern.
That sort of order inevitably breeds conflict, doesn't it?
That's the point. Is the indication of conflict disorder? When there is conflict, is there disorder? Go on, please.
Order does seem to imply some harmony.
Yes, sir?
Order does seem to imply some harmony and some
Harmony.
and a relationship where things are in an appropriate way to one another.
Lacking conflict.
Not in conflict, it says. So, to live a harmonious life, you'd call it a life of order. Is that it?
I would.
What may be harmonious to you may be disharmony to me. And then you and I would be in conflict.
Well, then we wouldn't be in harmony, and there wouldn't be order
So,
between us.
no, but therefore we must find out what we mean by harmony, what we mean by disharmony. Comes same thing.
Don't we have to look at the question of conflict first before going
Conflict. Oh, all right. What is conflict? You answer. You don't sleep. You asleep this morning.
When there seems to be a choice, should I do this or should I do that?
Oh, that means when there is choice. When there is choice, there is confusion. So confusion is disorder. So disorder implies choice. When there is no confusion, there is no choice. Therefore, when there is no choice, that is order. Is that it?
Well, when there's no confusion, the mind is in a tranquil state, and one could say it's working orderly. Isn't the disorder more
Now
a
let's
result of the confusion?
maybe we put it around this way. Do I live inwardly and outwardly a disordered life? A contradictory life. Say one thing, do another, think one thing, and say something different. The contradiction inside me, psychologically, would you call that disorder?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
You would. Now just let's start from there, simple. Let's start from there. I am aware, know, or conscious that I live a disordered life psychologically, right? Inwardly. And that expresses itself outwardly in disorder, right? Both outwardly and inwardly, there is disorder. Am I aware of it? Are you aware of it? Come on. Are you aware, know, that you live a disorderly life? I mean by disorderly life, a contradictory life. A life wanting something and not wanting, contradiction, conflict, opposing desires, all that. Are you aware of it? Huh?
Yes.
Now, let me go slow, go very slowly. Are you aware of it because I point it out to you?
I think that while it's going on, I'm not so much aware of it as I'm aware of its consequences.
Yeah, so are you, no, I'm asking you, are you aware of the fact, not the consequences yet, fact that you are in disorder? Conforming, imitating, comparing. You follow? Desiring one thing and opposing that desire. Thinking one thing, doing something else, saying something and acting in opposition to what you have said. All that makes up, constitutes disorder. Am I aware of it? Or I am aware of it because you point it out to me. Which is it?
I think that even if we're aware that we think one thing and do another, we think we can separate these things.
Yes,
We think that
I understand
things
that.
inside and things outside are different.
But are you aware of it first? Let's start with that.
I think that perhaps I'm aware that I'm thinking one thing and doing another thing, but I'm not aware that that is disorder.
Isn't it?
No, you're told us.
I say one thing and do quite the opposite of it. I saw one of the cabinet ministers, he told me something. He said he didn't want to belong to the government. I don't know why he was in it. And so on, went on for about half an hour. And next morning, he gets up on the platform, gives a talk, exactly the opposite of what he told me. He knows very well what he said. Contradictory, you follow? That's a political game. When I met him the next time, he said that's politics. So, I'm asking, are you aware that you say one thing and do another? Let's begin with a very simple fact. When you are aware of it, that of saying one thing and doing another, would you call that disorder?
It's not the whole of human morality.
No, not the whole human world. Just take a little bit at a time. Come on, sir, let's talk about this. Rather interesting if you kindly go into this.
It seems because we have like I was thinking before, disorder between two people would be because one person has one view, the second person has the other view, and they conflict.
I'm not talking of views. I'm not talking of opinions, judgment, taste, outlook. But simple fact, I say one thing and do another.
Isn't that the same? Because inside we have the same thing going on. one part says one thing, another part says something
That's all,
else.
that's all. Just hold to that. Would you say that is disorder?
Yes.
That's all my point. I just want to begin very simply first. Are you aware of this fact? Saying one thing and doing another? Yes? Then what next?
Sir, do people say one thing and do another? I mean, when I look at people and when I look at myself, I don't think that they do that. I think that they do what they think. However, their way of thinking is quite twisted, so that it makes it, that any action that they perform, they can internally, with their thinking, justify it. They
no.
adapt a way of thinking that makes anything, killing, stealing,
No,
lying,
no,
cheating.
no, Mr. Joe, I'm not talking of that. Please, let's stick to, begin little by little, go into much. I'm not thinking, I'm asking myself, I say one thing and do something else. That's all. Of that I know very well. What the source of that is quite a different matter. Why I say one thing and do another is what the reason of it is quite a different matter. I'm just beginning. I just want to go step by step. If I am aware of it, do I disregard it? And say, well, that's. Or do I say, I must do something about it? Do I want do I want to live a life which says, this is what I think, this is what I do. What I think I do. What I think may be wrong. But what I think I do. Are you aware of this? If you are aware of it, why is there this contradiction? Go on, dear, please.
How can you disregard it if nothing is consistent?
What?
Nothing is consistent.
No,
Yes,
no.
So you can't disregard
I'm
it.
not, look, I'm not going consistency, integrity, and all the rest of it. I'm taking just one simple fact, that I say one thing and do another. That's all.
Well, everything is like this.
Wait, sir.
Is it perhaps because I'm frightened of people?
I don't know. I'm going to find out. I'm not going to jump to any conclusions. When I discover that I say one thing and do quite the opposite to what I have said, does it make you a little bit horrified? Huh? Does it make you a little bit, not guilty, say, why am I doing this? Don't you ask that? Do you? Huh? Why are you doing it? Oh, come on. Why are you doing it? Is it you are frightened of the person, you are frightened, and therefore you say one thing and do the opposite because inside you are uncertain. Is that it? Huh? Right? So, I am uncertain of what to do. And so I say one thing and do the opposite of that. So it means I'm uncertain inside. I'm just talking aloud. I may change this. I'm uncertain. Right? Would you accept that? Huh? Oh no, come on, don't just sit there.
Yes.
Huh?
That's a fairly easy thing to accept.
What?
Most of us are uncertain.
Yes, uncertain.
Sorry, you say something in anger or
Yes.
what have you, and
Yes.
when you think about it, you have no
I mean,
intentions
if
of
I
carrying
say
it out.
something in anger and then withdraw it, that's clear.
But then if you wanted to be a purist, you could say you're not doing what you said.
No, I'm sorry, I said that in anger, I didn't mean it, and let's forget it.
So either you can't say what you say is necessarily good or the right thing, or what you do. It could be either that or confused. Do you see what
I
I'm
know,
saying?
I'm a very simple person. I want to begin very simply. I say one thing and do another. Is it because I'm frightened? Is it because I'm uncertain? Is it because I'm with people who are much stronger than me, and I accept their views, think according to what they want to do? When I leave them, I do the opposite. So which means I'm being influenced. Right? Right? I'm influenced here at Brockwood. We're influenced by the people that are here. And when I go out, I'm influenced by the newspapers, politics, politicians, mother, grandma, influenced. Is that it? So as I'm rather a weak person, I'm easily pushed around. And being pushed around means I say one thing and do another. Right? Would you say that?
So we don't usually say that, sir. We usually say that we are choosing between this. We don't say we are moved by fear or by influence. We usually say, well, I can do this and this will happen, and I can do this and this will happen, so I'll do this.
Let's begin then. Are you being influenced?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
Here?
Yes.
Why? Why do you accept influence?
Because I'm weak.
Huh?
I'm weak.
So, are you aware? Please go step by. Are you aware that you are weak?
Yes, sir.
Huh?
Yes, sir.
Then what takes place? I am aware that I am weak. And I am aware, being weak, I become like a weather vane, whichever way wind blows. Right? Am I like that? Are you like that? Are you quite sure? Then what will you do?
Well, what we usually do is set up an idea of strength and...
No, what do you actually do? I'm asking him. And therefore I'm asking all of you, because most of us are in that position. Right? Easily being influenced. Right? Easily slaves to propaganda. Easily pushed around by parents, by teachers, by society, by anybody that comes along, pushed. Right. If I am aware of that, what do I do next? I acknowledge that I am weak. And because I am weak, I form groups. I join those groups which are fairly strong, as it happens in this place, doesn't it? You have group formation, don't you? You have groups. So all that indicates that you cannot stand by yourself, right?
Sir,
Huh?
you say it's weakness. Isn't it also that the person actually wants something from the person who's influencing him?
Yes.
And because he wants something, he more or less is willing to be
Yes,
influenced.
I want something, and therefore I'm influenced. Is that it?
Well, he wants security of being
Yes,
belong to
so
that group.
wait a minute, so go into a little bit slowly. That is, I am weak and I am easily influenced. Therefore, with one group I say one thing, with another group I say the opposite. Hmm?
Weakness is only one sense. It seems that it's not as though the person has a weak image of oneself or what he wants. That seems quite strong.
Yes, I'm not yet come to the image part. Don't go too quickly. Hmm? So, I am aware that I am weak. Are you really aware that you're weak? Huh?
When does it become weakness? Because we're influenced by, quite possibly rightly, by an infinity of facts. We're influenced by...
I know that infinite...
Must be.
Maria, I know great. Look,
When is it...
don't bring in too many
I know,
things.
but we now have a concept of influence as being only weakness. When
No, our whole life may be the result of immense propaganda. I'm a Christian because I've been told about Jesus from childhood.
How do we divide that kind of pernicious influence that leads to weakness or is based on weakness and the natural interaction of facts, relationship of 1,000 things, which does not result in weakness necessarily?
Is the question, for example, when my teacher teaches me maths, am I influenced?
Oh, good God, no. No, sir, you see, you're spreading the net of influence over everything.
Well, that's where are you dividing this?
We were keeping it pretty simple.
Stick to what we want.
See, if I'm influenced, I want to find out why I accept influence. Doesn't matter. I'm taking that, just please let me go with that one thing, then we can get somewhere. There may be 100 reasons. Doesn't matter. I know I am weak, and I know I'm easily influenced. Right? Right? Would you accept that? Huh? Or you like that? Huh? Good. Then what do?
You can see why it's happening. But often I'm influenced without knowing it, and I wake up afterwards.
Are you aware of it, being influenced consciously? Or do you... I'm influenced unconsciously by the radio, by the television, by newspapers, by the books I read. So all my life is being influenced, put upon.
But deeper than that, parts of myself that I don't know anything about are influenced without me knowing it.
We can't really talk about that because we don't know anything about it.
I think a lot of strength is gathered when you are fulfilling some sort of purpose. But if you don't want to fulfill any purpose, you don't have that strength.
I'm getting lost.
Why don't we continue? Can we just take it back to simple influence? If someone talks to me and I agree with
That's what I want to stick to one thing and then work it out and see in doing that they include everything else, all the 100 other facts. I am influenced because I am weak. Does strength mean, please listen, does strength mean not being influenced? Hmm? That's it?
I would say that's a trap.
Huh?
I would say that's a trap.
I can't-
Trap.
A trap.
A trap. I quite agree. That's a great trap.
But that is how generally it's understood, isn't it?
No, you haven't followed. You haven't followed Mr. Smith. He says, does it mean I'm very strong when I'm not influenced? And he says, so that's a dangerous trap. Do you understand what that means?
I don't know exactly, but
And we'll therefore find out what it means before we go to something else. He says, when I realize I'm weak, and therefore I'm influenced, and I then hope I'll be very strong in myself, and nothing will influence me. Huh? And he says that's a very dangerous trap.
can we find out?
Ask him, discuss with him.
Why is it a trap?
Ask him.
It's a trap because you have made up an idea about yourself, about what you want to be, and you are, because of that, you are turning away whatever comes to you in the name of its being an influence on you. So you are operating through the name of influence. Is that clear?
You see what he's saying? When I realize I'm weak, and therefore I'm influenced, and from that I say I must be very strong. What does that mean? I become obstinate. I become, I enclose myself. And because I'm very strong, nobody can touch me. Which means I won't even listen to something which may be true. That's what he's trying to say. And also, weakness is strength the opposite of weakness? If it is weak. You understood that? Have you understood that?
Are you saying, sir, that the opposites contain the seed of the opposite?
That's just it. The weakness I have, and I try to be strong, this strength is derived from weakness. Therefore, it's still weak. You get it? That's what he calls a trap. I haven't really moved away from weakness. Is that clear? Huh?
It's not totally clear, you see.
So, any opposite, what? Anger and what? Oh, come on, help me out.
Complacity.
Huh?
Calmness.
Calmness.
Anger and calmness.
Tranquility, calmness. I don't know.
Friendliness.
Huh?
I don't know what's the opposite.
Well, so you work it out.
Cultivated calmness.
I'm angry. What is that?
Cultivated calmness.
Cultivated calmness. All right. Anger and cultivated calmness. Huh? The cultivated calmness has arisen because I was angry. Therefore, it is the result of anger. Right? Yes, look, get on with it, that's enough. So, my question then is not how to be strong, but why is my mind being influenced? And I discover that I have been influenced from childhood. Right? right? I discovered that all mankind has been programmed, right? Catholic, Protestant, Communist, Socialist, rich man. You follow? My brain has been conditioned from the very beginning of time. No? Huh? Would you see that? Do you see that? Do you accept that? Do you see the truth of it or the falseness of it? Look, I was born in the family which calls itself a Catholic, and that parents for the last 50 years have been conditioned to be Catholics. So I become a Catholic, and my grandmother has been conditioned to be a Catholic. My great-grandmother has been conditioned to be great, I can go back. So I am the result of all this conditioning, which means all this influence, right? So I ask myself, is it possible not to be conditioned, not to be influenced, not to be strong, but is it possible not to be conditioned, not to be influenced, to understand the whole momentum of influence? What do you say, sir? Huh?
I think you have to be more clear what you mean by influence, because, I mean, you have to...
Look, sir, I am now influencing you.
Yes, but, I mean...
No?
Yeah, but that's...
Listen, no. I am now influencing you, am I? Huh?
Well, you make something happen in us.
No, I'm asking you, am I influencing you now? Huh?
Surely it isn't to be influenced if you consider all the facts relevant to the situation.
I can't hear. I can't hear.
Surely it's not to be influenced, to be aware of the relevant facts to a situation.
So, you say, I am not influencing you.
No.
Why? Because you say, I am aware of the fact of what you are saying. I am aware of it, therefore I am not being influenced by it. I see what is actually going on, therefore I am not influenced.
You're influenced by the fact to which your attention has been drawn.
What?
You are influenced by the fact to which your attention has been drawn.
Yes, that is not influence.
I beg pardon?
That's not influence.
Well, that's what I think the question was, how are you using this word influence? Why is that not influence?
He's drawing your attention to it.
wait a minute, I draw your attention to a snake, to the danger of a snake. Is that influence? No, wait, I'm taking one example, please.
It causes you to consider the danger of the snake.
It
It has
may-
altered your view or your action.
No, I say, look, that's a cobra, that's a viper. Look at it, watch, it is a dangerous snake. That's not influence. What?
Are we using influence to mean something that prevents us from seeing things as they are?
That's right.
Well, would you say that your influence causes your action or your thinking, which is more or less the same, to be altered? Is that influence? If you tell me
Yes,
that's a
yes.
poisonous snake, it's going
If-
to alter my attitude
No.
towards the snake.
We are not offering opinions, we are dealing with facts.
But it is a fact that it's occurred.
I think Krishnamurti is offering a new use of the word.
Well, that's what I'm trying to find out.
Yeah, that not everything which changes your actions as an influence. That and he's suggesting that if you see that it's raining outside and you put on a raincoat, he's saying let's not use the word influence in that case.
Well, let's then be very
Yes,
clear.
let's see, that's a very good example. I say to you, it's raining, please put on a raincoat. That's not influence.
On a spring day, my energy is influenced.
What?
On a spring day, my whole seeing is influenced.
Why don't we just keep it simple and saying it that if someone influences you, that means that you're not able to see it.
I influence you to change your opinion.
If you tell me it's raining, I can very easily
Yes,
agree
very
with
fine.
that. But if you tell me something and for me, I say change my opinion or idea, if it's just in that realm of
That's right.
intellect,
That's very simple.
then it's influence.
That is, I am a Catholic and you are a Muslim, you come along and influence me to change my opinion and become a Muslim, with both non-facts.
Excuse me, sir, to make the example of that cobra thing more explicit, if you say there's a cobra there, and if you just tell me to look at it, but if you tell me I should avoid it or to be
No,
scared
I
of
said, look, I don't even tell you, that's danger. All right, sir, precipice when you are, any danger, which is a fact. A bus is coming along, don't stop in its way. It'll kill you. That is not influence.
So, but if you tell me to jump out of the way, that might be influence.
In that particular case, if you just say, there's a bus coming, you won't wait to be told what to do. You'll just jump out of the way.
Exactly.
Okay, why? Because I have been influenced.
No, just because you see it.
No, but I've previously known that if a bus hits me, then, that
Oh.
will be the end.
Maybe the confusion is that even if you point out something, a fact, and if I don't look at that fact and verify it and just accept what you said, then
That's just what I'm trying to get at, sir. When you say you are aware that you are weak, is that a fact or an idea? You follow?
Well, doesn't it always have to be an idea? Isn't that another trap, that question, the way you have phrased it?
It's not a trap, sir. Look,
I mean, is there a person is there a self inside of a person that is either weak or not weak, and that by looking in a certain way, that a person can see whether he's a weak person or not? I mean, can we actually say that give an attribute to a self,
No,
weakness
no.
or strength?
not attribute yourself. You are being influenced, pushed around, right? That's a fact. And are you aware that you are being pushed around? That's all I'm asking. Or you make an idea of what being pushed around and aware of the idea, not the fact. Is that complex? Huh? Do you see that? That is, I am jealous. There is jealousy. You come along and tell me you are jealous. And I make an idea of jealousy, but I don't actually realize I'm jealous. You understand? The idea and the actual. Now, so I'm asking you, are you aware that you are weak, being pushed around? actual fact, not the idea of being weak.
Then you mean right here. I mean, I can think about times that I've been influenced and then say, well, therefore I've been influenced, I know that. But it seems to see it as a fact. It must be in this room.
Look, sir, let's change the whole thing differently. You're going out into the world, aren't you? What are you going to do? Society wants you to do one thing, your parents want you to do something else, and your own inclination may be something quite different. And the pressure of earning money, follow, all the rest of it, all that is in, you have to face, right? The pressure of the moment, the pressure of the society, the pressure of your parents, the pressure of your what you have thought is right and against. You follow, all that you're going to face. So are you being pressured? You understand my question? Are you being pushed? Therefore, you say, I'll get married very quickly, it doesn't matter who it is. Or I'll take that job because that'll give me a little money. All that means you are being pressured to do something which may be wrong, which may be right, may be wrong. Is that what you're going to do when you leave here? Come on. My father is a lawyer, and he's got very good, he belongs to a very good firm with other lawyers. And he says, my dear boy, study law. He's pressuring me. You'll have a nice, I'll leave all my money to you, you get into my position. He's pushing me. And I, being weak, uncertain, I have to earn money, there's the pressure of all that, and I say, all right, I'll join your firm. Which is acting under pressure, right? Or are you going to act, please listen, without any pressure from anybody? By your affection for the parents, by your affection for the boy or the girl you have at the moment, by power, position, money, this and that, are going to be pressurized to do something immediately. Or pressurized to do something 5 years later. You understand my question? Huh? Do you? So what are you going to do?
Try and find out why I...
No, sir, look at it. No, well, listen carefully. Look at it first. Look at all the things you may be forced to do, compelled to do, pressurized to do, influenced to do. At the end of your 30, 40, 50 years, say, oh my God, what have I done? What a wasted life. Right? So what are you going to do?
Even if I decide to act without being influenced, that won't stop the pressures from coming. The pressures will still come at you.
Wait, I may not stop pressures, but I am aware of the pressures. I am cognizant or aware, conscious, how I am being pressurized to do this, that, and the other. First, I am aware of that. And being aware of that, I become fairly intelligent, right? No? Huh? Come on, please.
The pressures are very great. I don't see how the intelligence comes into it.
Look, this morning, for nearly 35 minutes, we've been talking about being pressurized, influenced, compelled. When you see all that, how people are behaving under pressure, aren't you aware? When you are aware of it, isn't that a say, by Joe, I must be careful. I must watch. I won't be pressurized. I won't be pushed around. I want to find out what's the right thing to do. That's an act of intelligence, isn't it?
So but that's also a reaction to the pressure, sir.
No. That's not a trap. Because I have watched myself being pressurized. I watch other people being pressurized, right? Pushed by circumstances, by environment, by the culture in which they live, by the parents, and so on. I've watched all this. I'm not against it. I watched it. So I say now, I will find out how to live without being pressurized. That's not a trap.
But if you think in terms of right and wrong...
No,
that's the trap.
I'm not talking right and wrong.
Well, you were saying right action, what is the...
I'll show it to you. That is, I have been watching people around me and also watching myself, that I am pushed around by my parent, by my culture, by my society, by my grandmother, to do something which they all want me to do. If my father is a lawyer, he says, for God's sake, become a lawyer. Or because you get more money and I want more money, you follow? And I like good cars, and I say, all right, I'll join your firm. That's being pressurized. So I am aware of all these things happening around me. People caught in this trap, right? Right? So I'm not revolting against it, I'm watching it. Do you understand this? Come on. Do you understand this? I'm watching it.
Pressure this time. I mean, you may think, I'm doing what I like.
I know, which is another pressure. To do what I like, maybe that's the last pressure. That's an appalling pressure. Huh?
I mean, what you said also pressurized, but what is pressurized?
It's a very descriptive example in this. If you just look on the notice board, now Krishna G is a notice board. He's pointing out a fact. You go onto that notice board and you see folk dancing at 7:30 tonight. You didn't know there was folk dancing at 7:30 tonight, so you go, good, I'll go to folk dancing because you want to go to folk dancing.
Yes.
But if the folk dancing notice says, do you want to be beautiful? Come to folk dancing at 7:30 tonight, then you're being pressurized.
My point, sir, and more of you, my point is, I have observed this. I have observed how people are being pushed into doing something they may want to do or may not want to do. And so I'm watching it. And I say to myself, am I also being pushed around, pressured to become something or other according to my parents, society, and so on. That's my first question. I don't say what is the right thing to do. I haven't come to that yet. Right? Are you aware of this, all this? You're aware of it, aren't you? Huh? If you are aware of it, then what is the next thing? If you choose one profession, or one career, or one thing, you are choosing out of confusion, aren't you? Right? I wonder if you see that.
You're choosing one pressure as against another pressure.
Yes, you're choosing. I say this may be better, that may be right. So this is more attractive, that's less attractive. This will be more money and this will give me less. So, when there is choice, your action will be born out of confusion. Right? Do you see that? Is
pressure not mainly caused by this reward and punishment principle?
What?
Is pressure not mainly caused by reward and punishment? This principle.
That's part of it. The reward and punishment plays a part in my choice. Are you getting what I'm talking about? Huh? So let's proceed. Otherwise we'll have wasting time.
So I'm not really clear when you say if there's choice, then there's confusion. For example, if it's raining outside, I can choose to put on a coat or to leave it off. I can choose to be. And if one job gives me a lot of money and another gives me less, I mean, the rain might be such that I need to keep dry. It might be necessary for me to have.
Look, sir, the other day we went yesterday to London. Mrs. Simmons chose a road which she knew. Therefore, there was no choice. She said, that's the road I know. I'm going along there. But the moment there is doubt between that road and that road, you are confused. That's why keep it very simple at first.
Possibly by taking that known road, she has missed a very good road.
But it's the confusion that we're talking about involved in it.
Then you fly to London. Now let's get at this. I am aware of people around me who are being pushed, pressurized to do this or that. And because I'm aware of this, I become very watchful, right? Right? I haven't decided what to do. I become very watchful. I say that watchfulness is part of that intelligence which will tell you what to do. Now, do you get it? Have I lost you? Or you have lost me? Huh? I've lost you, I see, all right.
You're saying that if I don't watch, then
I'm pushed.
yes, and just
If I watch, if I have observed what is happening around me, very carefully, and I have observed that I'm also, people are putting pressure on me. I'm aware of it. Right? Are you aware of the fact, not of the idea? You understand the difference? Of the fact and the idea that people are being pushed around. If you are aware of the fact, the actual thing that is happening, then the very watching of it in yourself and others, that very observation is part of intelligence, obviously. And that intelligence is going to tell you what to do when the moment comes. You have understood what I'm saying? That intelligence is not under pressure. It can't be. You understand? Are you all so intelligent now? Intelligence in the sense that intelligence which will tell you what is the right thing to do when you leave here. Because you have observed, you have listened, you have seen, you have heard this happening all around you. You see what I mean? So, what are you going to do? Is this intelligence awakening in you? Or you're going to, at the last moment, you say, my God, I don't know what to do. My parents will jump into some trap.
So, the right thing to do, does that imply to you that in that particular situation, the right thing to do may not be a very noble thing, or it may not be something that you would normally do?
I will withdraw that word right. Your intelligence, the intelligence, not then it is not your intelligence or my intelligence, it is that intelligence will tell you what to do.
In that situation?
Whatever, no, not in that situation.
Well, life was always changing.
No, you haven't, then we'll have to go into it again. I have observed very carefully how human beings all around me are pushed into various pressures, right? If I'm an actor's son, I want to be an actor. If I'm a lawyer's son or daughter, all that. And I am aware of it. I'm conscious of it. I've watched it. I cannot watch it fully if I've already made up my mind to go in a particular direction. Right? I don't then watch the whole map of what is happening around me. Right? I wonder if you've understood. Right? I show you.
You said to go in a particular direction, do you mean that you're set and fixed? I mean, obviously, at that moment you're living somewhere, you're somehow earning a living or whatever, going to school. So in a sense, certain aspects of your life are taking place, even though you're open to your life changing.
No, I'm not saying, I'm saying something entirely different. Please, just a minute. When you look at a map, ordinary map, do you look at the whole map, or you look at in a particular direction? Have you understood? That is, if I want to go from here to what? Which? Salisbury. If I want to go from here to Salisbury, I don't look at the whole map, right? My mind, I'm concentrated on the route from here to Salisbury. But if I have no direction, then I see the whole map. Do you understand what I'm doing?
If I have an idea as to what I should do or what I want to do.
I have none of that. Because I see people around me are being influenced. I see myself being influenced. It is neither good nor bad. I've just watched it. So I'm watching it as I would watch a map, right? But I cannot watch the map if I'm only looking from one place to another. You get it? So, I say when you are looking at this whole map of influence, pressure, pushing around, conforming, see the whole map of it, the very seeing of it is part of that intelligence. Right? Right? That intelligence will tell you, when you leave Brockwood, what to do. If you haven't got that intelligence, you're going to be caught in the trap. Am I making somewhat clear? Yeah? Now, are you watching? Or are you saying, I must be that? I must be a politician, or I must be something else. Because I say, don't decide now, you're too young, but watch, listen, find out. So, in watching, in observing, in listening, you are awakening a different kind of intelligence. Get it? So don't decide now what to do. For God's sake, don't do it. But see if you are becoming intelligent, in the sense that we are using. Intelligence by observing, listening, watching how people behave. When you listen to, when you are studying history, watch it very carefully, how they are being pressurized. The kings, the queens, they follow the whole world. Therefore, order is the operation of that intelligence. Right, sir? Do you see that? Do you see that? I just caught sight something of it, the smell of it. Do you see it, Joe, Mr. Joe? No, I just stick to it. Don't go off. Do you see that by watching, listening, carefully what's happening around you, in yourself, the very watching is giving birth to a new sense of intelligence. That intelligence will tell you what to do. And we are saying that intelligence is order. Not my order, your order, because intelligence is not yours or mine.
Is order a necessity?
Huh?
Is order a necessity? Is order a necessity?
Oh, no, order. You see, you are making it so complex. Just order. It's not a necessity, it's order. You see, we are acting according to what I like and don't like, right? I like to be a lawyer, I like to be a painter, I like something like that, which is, I say that very like will bring about a contradiction, right? Of course, that's a well-known trap.
I mean, I don't understand. It's not usually said that way. That
What?
to do what you like is pressure.
Yes, I said to do what you like. Now, wait, that's very complicated. Let's go into it. to do what you like. What do you like to do? Actually. Not study. Have a good time. I'm asking, some people like to study. What is it you like to do? I never thought about what I would like to do. May surprise you, I never thought about it. I think it's so limited, so petty to say, I like to do this. I'm not influencing you. I say to myself, I have watched everything around me. I have watched religious organizations, how they corrupt people. I was the head of an organization of such a kind. And I said, and watching it, intelligence said, dissolve it, get rid of it. Therefore, that was the right action. You understand what I'm saying? So, are you being young and not, you cannot decide what you're going to do in 15 years later. You say, wait, or 10 years or 5 years. Say, I'm going to observe. I'm going to learn through observation, watching myself and others. We are doing something somebody wants us to do. And somebody wanting us to do something becomes, I want to do that. You follow? So, I'm watching. I haven't got to decide for another 5 years, 2 years. I'm just watching. And out of that watching, something takes place, which is neither yours nor mine. And then, when there is that intelligence, nothing can influence. Nobody can put you under pressure. And I think that's part of our education at Brockwood. To see that you are watching. Not coming to any conclusion. Any saying this is right, this is wrong, I must not. Cut out all that, just watch. They wanted me, this is just, I've finished talking. They wanted me to stay in India for a year. Say, why do you travel? Why do you go away from India to Brockwood or America? Stay here for a year. I said, why? They said, you will, instead of 6,000 people at a meeting, 6 to 7, you'll have 30,000. You will be known all over India. Everybody will know you. What you are, not know me personally, but what you are talking about, your teaching. And I said to them, why? Why can't you do all this yourself instead of me? You follow what I'm saying? You understand what I'm... And they said, but we can't do it. We are not like you. I said, why not? Because you haven't gone into this. Right? So I said to myself, what's the right thing? What is intelligence? Say, buzz off. Leave. Otherwise they would have made me into a tin god, you follow? Or some kind of idiocy. So I said, that's too appalling. Right? So please watch. Don't let your desire or your parents, somebody tell you what to do. Just watch. Watch how you sit, how you walk, how you watch your thoughts. May I tell you one thing? One thing, I'll stop at that. Watch your thinking. Don't let one thought escape from you without your knowing it. You understand what I'm saying? Do you understand? Do you understand something? You're thinking something, and another thought comes in. So watch that thought. Don't let any thought escape from you. So it means be aware of every thought. And you know what it does? It gives great muscle to your brain. Makes you tremendously alert. Huh?
Back a muscle down.
What? I can't hear. Sorry.
Well, it's not a negative thing to do, isn't it?
What?
To be, I mean, unless you see something from catching all those thoughts, you're going to be involved in an endless job.
No, watch it casually. Don't let any thought escape. That means you know what you are thinking. It is not all-day job. When you have to study a book, you study it. But in studying it, your thought comes in, and be aware of it. So it gives a sharpness to your brain. You follow? Right, we better stop. Sorry, no more meetings till I come back in May.